episode 3 of Reclaim. No one's coming to save you. And today is a body episode.
I'm very excited for this.
I know. The weight of the world.
The weight of the fucking world. Yes.
So I've recently, very publicly, lost about 90 pounds. And I think this is going to be one where I get emotional when I talk about. The way that I am treated now as a smaller person is very evident. It's in the way that men speak to me. I think it's even in my professional career how people view me.
Really?
Yeah. And the thing is, I don't want to say this actually like it's a bad thing, because I think that when we lose weight, usually it's because we're doing other things to better ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Eating better, working out more, moving your body more. And I like to think of it as the internal work that I've been doing is showing externally. And so, like, when people comment on how good I look, and they're talking about the weight loss, right? They're talking about how good I look. But there are a lot of people that will say, you know, they'll phrase it with like, you look so amazing, but you were always beautiful. You were beautiful before. And I do believe that. I do. Yeah. But there's a part of it that is like, I lost all this weight because I started taking better care of myself. But there is the pressure of I'm loving all that extra attention that I get now that I'm a smaller person. And there's a fear. Like, I literally am so horrified of gaining 10 pounds again, or 20 or 30. Like, it makes me so nervous that all of these wonderful opportunities that are coming my way are just because I lost weight.
Damn.
I know. It's tough. Because it's because not everybody's goal is to lose weight, right? Like, society has made us feel like we have to fit into a certain box. And I'm guilty of it too. Like, I was wearing crop tops at 300 pounds. Like, I was literally saying, like, fuck the world.
Yeah.
And the other day I put on a crop top and I, like, stood there for 20 minutes in the mirror trying to decide if I was going to wear it out or not. And I was like, bitch, when you had 300 pounds, you gave 0 fucks. You wore the crop top. Now at, like, 205, I'm like, I don't know. Can I wear the crop top? Yeah, of course you can wear the crop top. There's no rules against it. Of course you can.
Right.
But it is interesting to see just how different life is as a smaller person. Like, I used to not be able to fit into an airline seat. Like, I had to have a seatbelt extender. Even so, I remember getting on an airplane for the first time over the last, like, year and feeling like I could, like, just buckle up. It was so crazy. And I think I also had this thought in my head that once I lost the weight, life would be perfect. And it's not. Like, right. Just because you're thin and in shape does not make life better.
Well, because it's like, it's a different identity. The different bodies we carry come with different identities for us.
Yep.
And every identity is going to have its shit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've really seen, you know, the more popular I've got on social media, obviously it's a numbers game. So the more people you're exposed to, the more horrible things will be said about you. And I am floored at some of the comments that men have made to me and about me. But it's typically in reaction, like, I'll do a video that will, like, talk about my weight loss, but also talk about the fact that I got divorced. And the biggest comment I get is, why couldn't you have lost the weight for your husband? Maybe he'd still be with you. I know.
Oh, that's so wrong in so many ways.
Let that one sit for a sec.
Oh. It's so easy to sit behind a screen and type those nasty things out without... Yeah. I guarantee you those men are so bitter because some woman didn't put up with his bullshit anymore. And I'm not saying anything about your ex-husband. I don't know him. But, it's so typical for the projection to happen. And then that woman had the glow up. I know I had a glow up after my divorce. Like, it happens. But like you said, it's a result of the inner work that you're doing. You start to glow differently.
Yeah. Like, I to be honest, like weight loss wasn't really the goal when I started doing all of this. Like I started moving my body more because I had so much anxiety over where my life, like financially, I was a mess. My love life was a mess. I was recently sober. So I started working out as like a mental health thing. Like
Yes.
it was like the 30 minutes of my day where I just did something good for myself. And then I started eating better because I wanted more energy.
Right.
You know, I've had a couple people like, you know, say like, oh, she did Ozempic. Like I didn't do Ozempic. I don't, and there are people that need it, you know, and there are people where that's their path. But my path was really like, I lost 90 pounds from just like loving myself super hard and just putting more energy into taking care of my body and honoring it and wanting it to be around for a long time for my daughter.
Yes.
And now I'm on this path of like, oh, I've come this far. Now how far can we take it?
Yes.
That's kind of cool. But there is so much pressure on women to have this certain physique and this look. And if you grew up in the early 2000s, I was like 130 pounds in high school and I was fat, quote unquote. I would kill to be 130 pounds. Like that's still another 70 pounds away. But we grew up with such unrealistic expectations of like, you know, like the women on The Biggest Loser. I think they showed someone the other day on Instagram. It was like the girl was like 210 pounds and she was on The Biggest Loser for being obese. Like, it's just, we were not brought up with healthy standards on what we should look like.
No, and even the measurements, like that whole BMI bullshit, like
Yeah.
everything about it. You know, I was in my teens in the 90s, and I mean, we're talking Victoria's Secret models and, you know, Kate Moss, like as waif thin as you could possibly be, and you're a superstar.
Yep. And I think we see that trend coming back now, right?
Oh, it's scary.
It is.
My daughter's 14, and I will tell you, we don't have a scale in my house because I will not, and I've done that for like 10 years now because I will not be beholden to a number. Not that that's bad. Like for some people, it's a measurement and like it's the way they scale. I just decided that for me, it was too unhealthy. Like I had to decide, like I knew how I wanted my clothes to fit, and even saying that out loud sounds toxic to me, right? Because again, that's another like, your body should look a certain way in certain clothes.
Yeah, and like,
I just heard that in my, like, geez, like so programmed.
Yeah, we are so programmed for it. I posted a video yesterday, like I realized that I've been shopping. I guess Target doesn't have a junior section. I was corrected in my comments. But it does have a young adult section, okay? And the clothes I've been buying are definitely young adult. They fit, kind of. But I feel so cute in them. Like I feel adorable in them. And do all of them fit perfectly? Probably not. But who decides that?
Right.
Like, I have to decide if I love my fit of the day.
And that's the lens I was using to decide if the clothes fit well is definitely the society's standard of the day, or if there had been a particular man in my life whose attention I thought was fantastic and he had made a comment like, oh, you look great in this, then that I would be like, okay, to each outfit, do I look like I did in that outfit?
Yep.
You know, and again, programmed.
Well, and it's interesting because I think the first thing someone goes to, like if you piss off a guy on a dating site or online, the first thing they come for is your looks.
That's exactly right.
So like, all right, yeah, sure, call me fat, but like get a little bit more creative because congratulations. Congrats. Like you have eyes. You've seen, you know, like, yes, I have fat on my body. That is correct. You know, and I think that it really, it's a mindset as to how to be happy with your body the way it is. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to improve your physical appearance if it's going to make you happy. It's when you start doing it to appease others versus yourself.
And I think even being reliant on the way your body looks to be happy, right? Whether it has to do with anyone else or just yourself. Like I went through, I mean, I'm smaller. I'm like 5 feet tall. I don't know exactly what I weigh, but you know, I've always been smaller, but I've also always been so mindful of like calorie counting and, you know, be a certain size because you're only 5 feet tall. You better watch it. Like, I think smaller girls sometimes get like this, oh, you're so fucking tiny. Like, what do you...
Yeah,
It's
what problems do you have? You're
it-
skinny.
I almost feel like I'm expected to be tiny because I'm tiny.
Yep.
And that's, you know, I've gone through this over the past couple of years. I purposefully gained weight. And I'm not, I know, I feel like, please don't come for me. Like, I know so many women try so hard to lose weight and you're like, oh, you had to try to gain weight. But we're all different, right? Like, we all have it was still rooted in insecurity for me.
Yeah. Well,
You
and I
know?
think, like, was brought up with, like, you should be able to fit a nickel in between, like, 3 different parts of your, like, your thighs, your knees, your...
Whoa, I didn't hear that one.
Oh, yeah. Like, my aunts used to talk...
We're so bad to ourselves.
We're so bad. And growing up always thinking that I was fat. Like, I always felt bigger than everybody else. Like, I'm 5'7". I'm not a small person. And it's been a huge topic of conversation my whole life of just, and the celebration I get when I lose weight feels really good.
Yeah.
It's, you know, I don't want people to stop telling me I look good. I appreciate it.
Right,
I
for
feel
sure,
good. I've
for
worked really
sure.
hard.
Yeah.
One thing, though, I think that's interesting is, like, people always ask me now, like, how did you do it? Like, how did you do it? And I have not counted calories. I haven't followed any kind of strict diet or anything, but I did intermittent fast for a while. I think that kind of, like, got me on the path.
Yeah.
But getting off the antidepressants, I was on, you know, like, Wellbutrin and Lexapro. So I was about this size, yeah, maybe like 20, 30 pounds heavier when I got pregnant. And I got pregnant in 2019, right going into COVID. And so they immediately put me on antidepressants to they were like, listen, lots going on in the world, a lot of bullshit. You probably should be medicated. And I was like, okay. And I don't think I realized how much weight I put on just from the medication. And then also just I realized food was my comfort since
Yeah.
I was a child.
Yeah.
Like, and it's funny because I have to, like, train my mom now because, like, whenever I'm upset or sad, my mom will be like, oh, honey, come on over. I'll cook you something. And I'm like, Ma, stop. Like, I don't need more food. That's not going to make me feel better. So when I stopped making food my comfort, that was a big shift.
Yeah.
But it also became, well, then what is my comfort? If it's not food, what is it? But we just have so much on our shoulders in this scenario or in this arena.
My comfort was, how much can I restrict?
Interesting.
So it was still food related.
Yeah.
But whenever I would get super anxious or have like emotions that felt too big, I immediately lost my appetite. And it would like, okay, bitch, like hunker down, you know?
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting. I think when we think eating disorder, we think about people who like binge and purge or people who restrict their food and they don't
Yeah.
eat and they're super skinny. But like I 1000% had an eating disorder because I would binge eat if
Yeah.
I was upset or
Yeah.
if things weren't going well, or like there was a point in time in my life where all I could think about was what's my next meal going to be. And that point in time was like probably 15 years long.
Okay, but me too.
Yeah.
Even like the opposite of, like we were at like different ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Obsessed with
Food.
food, for sure.
Either overconsumption or how do I restrict as
How
much
do
as
I
I can
restrict this shit?
restrict.
Yeah.
Yep.
And let me tell you, I was good at it.
Yeah. Oh, so was I.
We do everything all or nothing.
All or nothing. All or nothing. It is the theme. Yeah, you know, it's one of those things that becomes so ingrained in you too. It's a habit that's really hard to break. And like food's delicious. And it's
I was
like,
just gonna say we need to savor it,
Savor it.
and the experience of it. Because oftentimes, I don't know about you, but like I know for me, when I couldn't wait till the next meal, I'd get it, and there was no savoring, because I had deprived myself for so long that I finally gave in, and it was more about letting myself live than it was about the freaking food.
Yep, and I'll tell you, if you're somebody who is on like a diet and you're trying to lose weight, if it's not anything that you're going to live with the rest of your life, like I remember like last year when I was thinking about, that's why I chose intermittent fasting, because I was like, I don't have to restrict what I eat. I
Right.
just have to restrict when I eat it.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I can get down with that.
Yeah.
Because I would go through all these steps to like make, eat the cauliflower pizza or make the the spaghetti out of squash and all that. And then I would find myself just going and eating extra. That's something that tasted what I wanted to eat.
Right.
You know, like, no,
Right.
I want to eat something good and delicious.
Yes.
So I'm going to consume all these calories from the healthy food,
Yeah.
but then I'm going to go eat pasta anyways. And I think like one of the biggest lies we were told, and a girlfriend of mine were talking about this the other day, and it was funny because she was like, well, watch out for fruit. It has a lot of sugar. And I like said to her, I go, girl, that is like the lie we've been told our whole
Straight
life.
from the devil.
Because find me somebody who like who's fat because they eat too much fruit, right? Like, yes, it does have a lot of sugar in it. And if you're doing smoothies and things like that, that can get sketchy. But if you're just like, if you sit down and eat a box of strawberries or like a pound of strawberries, you're probably going to be pretty full for a while. Like, I don't know. I just think like I remember being younger and like when I did Weight Watchers when I was younger before, like fruit and vegetables were 0 points, being like, oh, I can only have like a cup of blueberries. Damn it. Okay, I'll have this cup of blueberries. And then like 2 hours later, I'm eating a cookie because I'm hungry.
Right.
Should just ate 2 cups of blueberries and been done with it.
Right.
It's an interesting thing. And but yeah, I think I did realize that I'm not immune to mean comments. I thought I was.
Yeah.
I really did. I thought I was above it. But when you have the thousands of comments like on a video telling you how ugly, fat, and disgusting you are from hundreds and hundreds of different men, it can wear on you. Like, even if you are the strongest, most confident woman in the world, that eventually does break you down a bit. And I found myself looking in the mirror differently. Like, I found myself like critiquing myself, and I was like, listen, if you have to make a choice here. You're either going to continue to be an online presence and spread your message and do what you do,
Yeah.
and not allow this noise to get to you.
That's right.
Or you got to stop, because like we're not going to allow the opinions of broken people.
Right.
And if they're even real people, I mean, let's be real. Half of it's probably fake bots.
Right.
But the wild thing is the negative comments, like say Instagram and Facebook, like negative comments drive the algorithm. Like every post I make that like showcases like some shitty thing that some dude said to me,
Yeah.
that video goes so viral because we thrive off of like this negative energy.
Well, it's polarizing.
Yes.
And people want the dopamine hit, I suppose.
Dopamine, the damn dopamine.
I know.
Every damn time it's the dopamine.
Every time.
But yeah, there's something to be said about like, I will tell you the first video that ever went viral for me. I had just started roller skating. I was probably around like 265 pounds, and I was in a pair of shorts and a tank top, and I was skating to Earth, Wind, and Fire. Like, do you remember the very last night in September?
Stellar song choice.
Stellar song. And there was a video of it, and the comments started picking me up, really bullying me as far as like, you know, I was inappropriate for being in shorts at that size. No, somebody my size should be covered up more, this, that, and the other. And then the other half of the internet came to my rescue. Like, I don't even think I responded to one comment on that whole video. And this video had millions of views, thousands upon thousands of comments, and it was people arguing about my body and if it should be acceptable or not.
And that's how you know it has zero to do with you.
Nothing. It has nothing to do with me. Nothing.
Zero.
It has to do with everyone's own perception.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting to me, though, where we have such strong opinions on how we're supposed to look.
And where do they come from?
Yeah. Where do they come from? Because as a childbearing woman, you need some meat on your bones. There's a lot going on there. Yeah, but it's just a very interesting subject. And I think that being someone now who, I mean, I'm by no means small, but I'm smaller than I've ever been, or at least probably in the last decade, like I'm smaller than I've ever been.
Yeah.
And I really just want to honor and love the woman who I was before this, because she mattered too.
And she got you here.
She did. She did the hard work.
Yes, she did.
Because running on a treadmill at 300 pounds is not easy. Roller skating at 300 pounds is not easy. You know, like now the things that my body does, I'm so grateful for it. And I'm really proud of like how far I've come. But I've had to have that like come into Jesus moment where like, if I gain 10 pounds, I am no less worthy than I am today.
Oh my God. No. Because weight has nothing to do with your worth. Your worth is inherent.
Yep.
And we forget that every day.
Yeah. And our soul, you know, this physical form that we've taken on in this universe, in this realm, it's not our soul. No. Like it doesn't determine our worthiness or who we are as people. Are we good or are we bad? And it puts you in an interesting place when you know that the attention you're getting is because you did this big work, you lost all this weight, and there's this pressure to keep going, right? Like and not that anyone else is pressuring me, it's my own bullshit. It's my own pressure to say, if you want the attention to stay, well then you need to keep going, you need to keep pushing, you need to keep bettering yourself.
And that's a vicious cycle.
It is.
It really is. I've always, like, my dad was a weightlifter. He was actually a weight loss counselor at Jenny Craig.
Oh,
back in the day. But he would say to me, I mean, talk about toxic 90s. Nothing tastes as good as thin feels.
Yes, from the lips to the hips.
First, there's a lot of things that taste better than thin feels, let me tell you, okay? Because I've been a thin bitch, and there's a lot of things that are really delicious. But I've always had this, workout, watch what you eat environment. And I've always been sort of active. Like, when the kids were little, it was harder to find time. And I mean, I had 3 of them, so they'll keep you busy in and of themselves, right? But then, like, once I started getting older, I would do Zumba. And then I started running. And then I started weightlifting. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how many of you out there are lifters, but that's a whole... Do you lift also?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love to lift.
Feels so good. It's so good. It fixes the dopamine shit for me a lot. Because it, like, dumps everything. Like, you have to put so much energy into it that it, like, flushes your system of, like...
So lifting has always been a place where I felt very comfortable because I felt, I'm a bigger woman. I'm stronger. Running has become... I used to wear a T-shirt that said, I hate running. And now running is becoming my saving grace. And I think it's because I have to block out the noise and drown out the noises and the voices in my head because I'm running. I mean, I run on a treadmill. So, like, I'm running so fast that, like, if I stop, I will fall on my face and probably die or knock out all my teeth.
Right.
So it's become this place of, and it's very treadmill specific. I tried running outside recently and I was like, wow, this is a whole different experience. But, lifting weights makes me feel super powerful. Running is when I need to quiet the voices in my head.
I think what I've noticed for me with lifting is it's become that got to keep going. Like, what's the next? And I caught myself. I did, like, one of those 75 hard dealies.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. But what I found was I became so conditioned that I was I was lifting, I think, maybe too heavy for my frame.
Yep.
And then you get this unrealistic sense of what you need to continue to do every day, and it's not sustainable.
No, you have to give yourself rest days. And we're the only creatures, I think, once again, all of my information comes from the internet, so... But there was this video going around for a while that's like, remember that humans are, like, the only species that, like, don't hibernate or, like, don't take time to rest.
Exactly.
Like, we just keep going and going and going, and eventually you burn out.
Well, yeah, and hustle culture is a whole other thing that, but it's very intertwined in what we're told about our bodies, like, and even, like, beauty standards, right? Like, heaven forbid you aren't, like, dolled up or you aren't, put together. And I don't know, man, in the last year, I'm 45. In the last year, I've started going to the grocery store like nothing, not even mascara.
Yep.
Hair in a bun. And I mean, there might be some women, and God love you, who have, like, always felt comfortable doing that. But that was a journey for me. And these standards that society's put on our bodies and our appearances, and, like, this is my home. Like, shut up about my home.
Yeah, I pretty much
know?
live in athleisure these days. Like my uniform is like booty by Brabant, top bottom, and a top bun. And that's just I'm like, wow, this is life now. This is how I look every single day. But it's also because my schedule is so full that like I fit the gym in wherever I can. So it's almost like I'm always gym ready. But the gym has become, it's almost like losing weight became the benefit of doing all these great things for myself that helped me focus more or have more energy or be a better mom because I could like play with my kid without getting winded.
Yeah.
I mean, I have 3 flights of stairs at my house to get up just to get to my condo. And usually my daughter wants me to hold her. And a year and a half ago, I got up those stairs like, gasping for breath.
Yeah.
And now I can walk up 3 flights of stairs holding groceries in one arm and a toddler in the other, and get to the top of the stairs and not be like completely done for the rest of the day.
Right.
So I think it's almost like always coming back to, why am I doing this?
Right.
Am I doing it because it's serving me, and am I doing it because it's right for me, or am I doing it because now I'm just trying to keep up with some unrealistic expectation that's been set upon me?
Yeah, to feed into my worth somehow.
Right. My worthiness didn't change just because I lost 90 pounds.
Right.
But how much I loved myself did change. Right? Like,
but do you think that how much you love yourself changed because your appearance changed, or because you put in all that fucking work because of the love you have?
The appearance changed because I started pouring into myself versus pouring into anyone else. Right? Like we talked about in the last episode, I met some toxic dude, and it kind of put me on this path, this trajectory of self-love and finding myself. And had that not happened, I don't know that I would have discovered the importance of like working out toward my mental health, or how changing the way I eat could impact my energy and what I'm doing with my day. And I think there's something to be said about like, if you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, you do always have this mentality of like, got to be better. Okay, I hit the mark. I made it to the finish goal or the finish line. But now what's the next finish line? What's next? What's next? What's next?
Always.
And so if that's how I'm programmed and I understand that that's what works for me, then I'm kind of like leaning into it now. Like, okay, cool.
Yes.
That's how I operate. That's what works for me.
And that's super healthy, though. That's not like the, seeking approval.
Right. And I think I have to constantly check myself, though, like, like I said, like sometimes I'll look in the mirror and start to question, like now that I've lost a lot of weight, like my belly, like I'm so nervous about loose skin, like, oh my God, what if I lose another 40 pounds, but I've got 10 pounds of skin hanging off my stomach? Like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I don't know. What are you going to do? You're going to live with it. You're just going to keep going. Maybe you get it cut off. Maybe you don't. We'll see.
Right.
So, but there is still, I think, a lot of conditioning in my own brain as to how my body's supposed to look. And I'm working through that. Like, I'm really trying to work through that preconditioned notion of this is what you're supposed to be like. Well, why? Says who?
Yeah. And I know through all of the toxic bullshit that I've experienced too with body stuff, in the past few years, I've started asking myself, well, how does your body feel?
Yeah.
Never mind, how does it look?
How does it feel?
What's the energy?
I will tell you, that was the biggest shift I made when I stopped. So because I was like, obviously you can count calories, you can do all this stuff.
Yeah.
So what I started to think about was same thing I did with alcohol, because that's why I stopped drinking, because I just didn't like how alcohol made me feel.
Yeah.
But same thing with food. Like, okay, I can sit down, like my favorite meal used to be like Market Basket, turkey, gravy, mashed potatoes, stuffing, cranberry sauce, all in one. Oh my God, so good. But I would feel so lethargic afterward. Like I would just feel like, oh my God, get me into bed, roly-poly-oly. So I use that filter now of like the meal in front of me. Okay, how is this going to make me feel later?
Right.
And sometimes it's like, it's going to make me feel like shit, but I accept that. I'm going to do it. I'm going to eat this whole pizza to my face. I don't care. And other times it's, there might be a better choice out there for me right now. I got a big day today. I got lots to do. I got lots to make happen.
Right.
It might be the fact that today we're going to choose a different meal. even though this looks really, even though Chinese food is calling me tonight, maybe it is like chicken and veggies and rice because I got a big day tomorrow.
Which is the most loving thing you can do for yourself, to ask that question and then honor it.
Yeah. And that's the thing before is like I never used to honor. I used to go with like what the impulse said I wanted.
Yeah.
I would go for it. And that was in a lot of things in my life. Well, like I want it, so I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
But, I think understanding like, okay, what does your body need though? Like our wants versus our needs are going to look very different. So how do we honor what we want, but how do we really stay true to what we need?
Yeah, because they're not always the same.
They're not always the same. So, but yeah, if you're on a weight loss journey and you are trying to figure out where your place is in this world as a bigger person or as a smaller person, the check-in is here. You just have to keep checking in with yourself.
Yes.
And make sure that what you're doing is healthy for you, for your body. Slower is better than faster. Right? Like slow and steady wins the race. It took 3 years. My last year was when a big chunk of it came off. Like the last 60 pounds came in the last year.
Yeah.
But that first 40 pounds, it was slow moving, but it slowly came off. So like,
Well, there's like a momentum that builds, right? Like of more and more loving decisions.
More and more loving decisions. And that's it. So fill yourself with a lot of love and figure out your triggers. If you find writing down when I start, like I would write down, like I found a food journal the other day and I was like, I'd get an argument with my ex-husband and I'd immediately go to the fridge. And I used to hide it too. Like I remember like creeping to the fridge at night and like opening the fridge slowly.
Yeah.
So no one in the house, even when I was a kid, like no one could hear that I was going back for more. So there's a lot of shame, I think, associated with food and how we deal with it. But you just got to keep checking in with yourself and ensuring that the decisions that you're making are right for you and good for you and that you're doing it for you and not for anybody else.
That's right. And you were always worthy. Always will be.
Always. You're worthy at every size. Don't let the internet tell you different. But if you decide that you want to feel better, move more, have a different outlook on life, that's okay too. Just do it in a way that feels good to you and that honors you. So,
Amen.
Amen. Go reclaim yourself. Reclaim yourself.